What's up everybody, it's Wyvern here, and in today's video, we are going to be shifting our focus from the Sinister Cup to the Ferocious Cup. Now, which Pokemon, might you ask, is so important that it qualifies being my first video of the Ferocious Cup? That is none other than the greatest Pokemon in this meta, and that is Camerupt. I mean, just look at him. He's a camel with volcanoes for humps. How can you beat that? Step aside Umbreon, we have a new top dog in the Ferocious Cup. The moveset that you're going to want to be running on it, in my opinion, is Ember, Earth Power, and Overheat. However, it also gets access to Rock Smash as a fast move, as well as getting Earthquake and Solar Beam as charge moves. This is one I accidentally bought a second charge move on several months ago, and now that I actually got a chance to do a video on it, I wanted to take the absolute utmost priority in doing so, and get that video out right away for you guys. Now let's take a look at some of its wins and losses. It is going to beat Alolan Ninetales, Alolan Sandslash, Granbull, Minun, Delcatty, Laren, Aggron, as well as having decent matchups with the other electrics. However, it is going to lose to pretty much everything else. This absolute unit wins a whopping 21% of its battles. So let's dive right into some matchups, guys, and see exactly how Camerupt does against the Ferocious Cup meta. So in this first matchup here, we're going to be leading with Camerupt, just to see how it does as a lead, kind of get it some playing time right off the bat. We're going to get that positive matchup versus the Laren. Ember's going to be putting in some good work against that, hitting it neutral with the Rock and Steel type and getting the same type attack bonus from Camerupt. Ember definitely doing a good bit of damage, however not charging up energy that quickly. You'll see I have Earthquake on it, not Earth Power, because I didn't actually want to waste a TM on a Camerupt, believe it or not. We're going to be going for that Earthquake versus the Laren. I'm expecting to get a shield out of him there, and we do end up getting it. We're going to decide to shield here as well, because since this is a Camerupt video, we absolutely cannot have the Camerupt going down. He is the utmost priority, and we are going to keep him alive. Now we should be able to just down this with Embers. Obviously not going to be able to charge up enough energy for a second Earthquake before we're able to knock that out. Thankfully, he's not able to get to another charge move as well. Now we're going to have to be careful with what comes in here. We see the Vaporeon, and one thing I did not mention in the opener, but Camerupt absolutely gets wrecked by Water Gun. You do not want it in there versus a B-Barrel or a Vaporeon. Suicune is also not an ideal matchup, although it normally runs Snarl as that fast move, but you see Vaporeon there able to take out Camerupt in a matter of seconds. So now we're going to be coming in with the Umbreon to finish off this Vaporeon. It's a super tanky Pokemon, and here we see it definitely is doing a little bit better than the Camerupt, tanking those Water Guns with just a bit more heft than that Lava Camel was doing so. We're going to let this Water Pulse go through because I know we're going to be able to tank it. Unfortunately, he switched right as we were hitting that Dark Pulse. I probably should have quit spamming it when I saw the switch, but regardless, we're going to get that Dark Pulse through, and it's going to deal a good bit of damage to that Shelgon. We're going to charge up a little bit more energy for that Vaporeon matchup in the back end, and then we're going to switch into our Alolan Ninetales to just finish that Shelgon off with Charm. Now we're going to see the Vaporeon come in once again, and Charm, even though it's not hitting super effective, is still hitting it for a good bit of damage. The Water Gun doing us pretty dirty as well. We get an attack coming through. We're going to shield this just because I know we're going to be able to finish this off with Charm and be able to win the match for us. So we see that Water Pulse come in, not doing anything obviously because of the shield, and we are just able to finish that off with one more Charm. In the second match, I'm expecting the Vaporeon lead to counter the Camerupt, so we're going to lead with Umbreon. Obviously, we do not want Camerupt versus Vaporeon. That would be a dreadful matchup. Dragon Breath probably would have hit the Camerupt pretty hard as well, so Umbreon turned out to be a pretty good lead here. I know Dark Pulse isn't the ideal moveset on Umbreon, and I have since TM'd out of it since recording this video, just looking at this footage and seeing how bad it was. So we now have Foul Play on the Umbreon, but that's kind of a side point. We are able to get that one through. He doesn't shield it, and it deals massive damage to the Shelgon. Now we're going to let this charge move through as well, just because Umbreon is so tanky. I know Flamethrower will definitely deal a decent bit of damage, but we will be able to survive that, and hopefully down this before he's able to down us with Dragon Breaths. It's going to be close, and we are just barely able to get it, and we have a Dark Pulse charged up. So we're going to be spamming that as soon as he subs in, and we're going to be going for the Dark Pulse on this Doniphan. Now this is an interesting Pokemon in this meta, Doniphan, because you're never sure if it's running Charm or Counter. Obviously, it's not an ideal Charm Pokemon, but it could catch some people by surprise, and that is what he's running on it here. So we're going to come in with the Camerupt. I'm assuming he has Vaporeon in the back, so it's kind of now or never for the Camerupt to try and get as much usage out of it as we can. And we see, even though it's resisted, those Embers are hitting that Doniphan like crazy. They're dealing a ton of damage, and they're dealing way more than Charm is doing to Camerupt. We're going to be able to get an Earthquake off before the Doniphan is able to do anything, since Charm charges energy so slowly. He's going to sub out of it there. and come into the Umbreon. I was expecting the Vaporeon, so I quick switched into my Ninetales to try and forego as much water gun damage as possible. Regardless, I know I don't need a shield. This Last Resort would deal decent damage, but I know we would be able to tank it. Gonna get a Dark Pulse coming through from him as well. So it seems he does not have Last Resort on it, so that's not something we have to worry about. And now those Charms are just gonna be able to knock out that Umbreon. We're gonna shield this regardless, just to make sure the Ninetales stays alive, because I know if we're able to down this Umbreon and charge up enough energy with the Ninetales, then we can hit his Doniphan with an Ice Beam when it comes in. And that is exactly what we're going to do here. We see the Umbreon go down, and all we have to do is hit that Ice Beam, and that's going to be able to win the match for us. And down goes the Doniphan. In the last match, we're going to be leading with Alolan Ninetales just because I'm anticipating an Umbreon lead. Unfortunately, that does not happen. It ends up being a Lairon, which is going to be hitting us super effective with those Metal Claws. So he's just going to be able to down the Alolan Ninetales and charge up enough energy for a charge move for whatever comes in next. I decided not to switch because my switch would have been into Camerupt, and I did not want him to follow that switch with a Vaporeon and just knock it out right away. We're going to get a charge move coming through here, and we are going to burn a shield on it just to try and keep the Camerupt as healthy as possible for the back end and charge up energy with these Embers hitting this Lairon. So there we are able to just finish it off with fast moves. He's not able to get another charge move off, and we are pretty close to Earthquake at this point. Unfortunately, he brought the Vaporeon back in this matchup, and we were going to switch right out of that because that is just going to decimate the Camerupt. Even the strongest Pokemon have their weaknesses, what can I say? And now we get into the dreadful, dreadful mirror match of Umbreon versus Umbreon. And not only that, it is non-legacy, non-optimized moveset Umbreon versus non-legacy, non-optimized moveset Umbreon. It is 2 Dark Pulse Umbreons going at it, and this is going to be a while, folks. I thought about speeding it up, but if I have to suffer through it while recording and editing, why don't you, you know? So we're just going to trade the Dark Pulse back and forth. I could probably sit down and write a book in the amount of time it takes this matchup to finish, but what can I say? I like pain, apparently. Dark, one of those that's pretty easy to hit Excellent on, so we're going to get that every time. I think the most difficult ones are probably going to be that Psychic, Fighting, and Ground was pretty difficult, but I think they moved the icons up about a ½ inch in the last update or two. They used to be right along the bottom of the screen, and that made Ground really difficult for me. They moved it up, and now it's pretty easy for me to hit all of them. But Fighting, I find it very difficult to get Excellent on. Psychic is easy if you just kind of follow the circle and don't let any get away from you. It's pretty similar to Fairy in that aspect, but Fighting I think is probably the most difficult one. I'm hardly ever able to hit Excellent on it. It becomes pretty evident to me at this point, after this charge move gets through, that we are going to be losing this matchup. So I just need to try and hit him as hard as I can here. I probably should have switched into the Camerupt to try and charge up a little bit more energy and get one last shield out of him, trying to hit him with an Earthquake, but that didn't really cross my mind. I was just kind of stuck in the mirror match and the fear of the Vaporeon, so that's something that will come back to haunt me later in the match. We are able to get one last Dark Pulse off before he's able to down us with his Umbreon, so that does end up working out in our favor. However, I think he is able to just down us with fast moves at this point, so he's going to have enough energy charged up for when the Camerupt comes in. I don't know why I went to switch there instead of earlier in the match, but whatever. We do get that charge move coming through, and we're going to shield, obviously, because that would just knock us out. And I know my only hope to win here is to down this with Embers and hit the Vaporeon with an Earthquake, but even though he has a shield, it was kind of just a lost cause. We weren't going to win that one anyway, so we do end up losing this match, so we're only able to go 2-1 with Camerupt. So I'm sure you were able to tell this video is just kind of one giant joke. Camerupt is a running joke amongst Valor, Ash, and the Ghost Stadium squad, so I kind of did that just to appease them and to have a fun start to the Ferocious Cup. I think it was a fun first video to make. I enjoyed making it, and since I had a Camerupt with 2 moves, I figured, hey, why not? It didn't take too much time to throw together, so I figured I would just have a little fun at the start of this month. If you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to like and subscribe for more serious PvP content, and until next time, guys, I'm Wyvern.